Hi, and welcome to the Los Angeles podcast of Anaheim, a semi-daily audio blog for all things Angels baseball. You're probably going to be able to tell that, and it goes to figure, right? Just as the season starts and the podcast project is going, something happens. I'm sick and my voice is kind of shot, so I'm not going to torture myself or anybody else by going too long. I'll just note that Tyler Skaggs did not have a very good day, but Jesse Chavez did. Cameron Maybin is off to a very good start, and so is Martin Maldonado and Cole Calhoun. And the bullpen has looked pretty decent the last couple of days. The big news, the news that really matters, Garrett Richards. He is on now there's a 10-day disabled list, and he's on it. Purportedly strained right bicep. When Richards came out of the game in Game 3 in Oakland, they were saying that he had strained his bicep, that it wasn't important enough or severe enough to actually fly home and get an MRI. Well, he did end up getting an MRI, and it showed that, fortunately, he didn't have any damage to his UCL, the UCL that he tore last year, that it really is just the MRI says nerve irritation. So that's really the best possible news that could have come out of Wednesday. So he's going to miss a start, which means that somebody like Alex Myers or Nate Smith or probably Petit coming out of the bullpen is going to get an extra start before Richards comes back. The Angels also called up Mike Morin, so the bullpen is going to be just a slight bit deeper. Although, given how Morin pitches, it may not actually be any better at all. As for the rest of the team, the top of the lineup, Escobar, Calhoun, and Trout, they've gotten off to really fast starts. I mean, you kind of expect that with Trout, but there was some question, at least in my mind, how Escobar would be doing at the top of the lineup. And he has looked really good. It's not so much the batting average, which can vary, but he's taking walks and he's looking at a lot of pitches. And that's what's important, that he's working counts and getting on base for Calhoun and Trout and Pujols. Now, Pujols is one of those guys not off to a good start. He's only had a couple of hits, and one of those was with the infield moving when Trout was going to second base in Oakland. Ball squips through the infield. And that's a hit. That counts, and that did score a run. But we're not seeing Albert driving the ball at all. And he is really hacking. You can see him coming off his front foot. He's opening up early, and everything is a ground ball to shortstop or third base. It's really sad to watch, and hopefully he gets his timing back, because having a guy basically be a hole at right behind Mike Trout, that's a serious problem. And the Angels are trying to adjust. You can see Trout going, and this would never have happened with old Albert, or with young Albert Pujols rather, that you would be sending the runner all the time with him up on base. You, instead of taking chances, you'd want him to drive in runs. The Angels know now they can't count on him to do that. So Trout is always on the move. Calhoun is always on the move to stay out of the double play that's inevitably going to happen every time Albert rolls a ball over to third or short. And it's really going to be incumbent on Crone and everybody else behind him to start picking up the slack. Maybin had a good game last night. Simmons is off to a good start. And so long as everybody else is hitting, it's not so bad. But Albert is going to have to start hitting and driving in runs if the Angels are going to keep winning some games. Last night was the home opener, and it really provided a blueprint for what it takes for the Angels to win some games. The most important of which was get some decent starting pitching and play some good defense. Cam Maybin had some terrific plays out there. Cole Calhoun has already started a highlight reel from a couple games in Oakland. C.J. Crone had a couple nice plays. Escobar's had a couple nice plays. And Martin Maldonado has, no joke, that arm is for real. I have no illusions about his offense, but that arm is spectacular. As far as the pitching's concerned, though, I would like to see more innings out of the starters. First time through the rotation, no starters pitched more than 5 2/3, and that's just a really heavy load for a very iffy bullpen to have to contend with. Second round of the rotation comes around tonight. Ricky Nolasco is going to be starting against Felix Hernandez. And I'd like to see Nolasco get into the sixth. He's the innings eater in the bunch, he and Matt Shoemaker. And it'd be nice to see him get into the seventh inning at some point so we can see less of Bud Norris and Andrew Bailey and Blake Parker. So hopefully that happens starting tonight. He's going up against Felix Hernandez, and Hernandez is not the same guy he was 2 or 3 years ago. His velocity isn't what it was, and that first game out was not terrible, but he got off to a very rough start, and his defense really helped him out. Hernandez did strike out 6, but he also gave up 2 homers and a lot of balls that really could have done some damage. I would actually expect the Angels to win a game like this. Even though Fernandez will get his Ks, he's not going to go deep, and the Angels have enough power hitters and enough patience, I think, to start waiting out a guy like Felix now. The rest of the Mariners are off to a slow start as well. They've only hit 2 home runs as a team all season thus far, and nobody's really hitting. Cano isn't hitting. Seager, Segura, Nelson Cruz, none of these guys have gotten off to fast starts, and subsequently they're 1-4, hopefully 1-5 after tonight. You got to kick a team while it's down. So if the Angels can do that, if they can take tonight and maybe even tomorrow for a weekend sweep, these are games that you don't have to worry about making up in August and September. These are the games that if you win early, you don't need to worry about late. They'll give you that cushion. That's it for right now. Hopefully my throat will feel better and I'll have a more complete post-game podcast tomorrow afternoon. Until then, enjoy the game and have a good night.